High up on the tip of its western coast is the seventh largest, one of the most ancient and presently one of the most highly industrialized states of India. Gujarat, a tourist paradise with three of its tourist spots declared as World Heritage Sites by UNESCO. This patch of green on the banks of the Pushpavati River in Modhera, Mehsan, is one of the most prominent of the seven abodes of Aditya or Surya, the sun god in India. Known as the Modhera Sun Temple, it's one of the seven wonders of Gujarat. The sandstone temple was built in the year 1026 by King Bindev Solanki, supposedly a descendant of the sun god. It is said that this brilliant work of architecture was completed without a drawing. The design consists of three axially separate elements so precisely constructed that during equinox, the first rays of the sun falls directly on the deity within the temple. Two huge ornamental arches called torans forms the gateway to the Sabha Mandap, or the assembly hall where religious gatherings used to be held. The mandap is open from all sides, and its 52 pillars representing 52 weeks of the year support the roof. Each of these pillars are intricately carved with figures and characters which convey stories and episodes from the great Indian epics, the Mahabharata, Ramayana and Krishna Leela. The exterior walls show 12 different facets of the sun god, which symbolizes 12 months of the year. Every single inch of the entire structure is covered with exquisitely crafted and sculpted forms of gods, goddesses, birds, animals, flowers and beasts. At the end of the Sabha Mandap is the Guda Mandap or the Sanctum Sanctorum, the seat of the presiding deity, atop a lotus plant. The idol is no more, as it was reportedly plundered by the Afghanian invader Mahmud of Ghazni. A flight of steps from the Toranas leads to the Suraj Kund or Rama Kund, the temple pond, in the foreground of the temple. This rectangular pond measures 176 feet by 120 feet, and the steps from all the four sides from the main level to the water level below is interspread with 108 miniature shrines, built and placed in a spectacular geometric pattern. As a matter of religious principle, Modhera being a sun temple, the image of the main Shikara had to be seen reflected in the water surface of the temple pond in front of the temple. Because the location of neither the temple nor the pond could be altered, a solution to prevent steps going down to the water level from obscuring the reflection had to be found. The simple solution which the brilliant Indian architects of yore found was to increase the incline of the steps going down by changing the direction and dimension of the steps and treads. The temple complex is a unified composition along a single axis which determines the movement through space and gives the impression of a series of overlapping frames, which gives a feeling of harmonic progression while moving through the complex, rather than a sudden registration of a single unit. As one nears the temple, the foreground of the temple pond registers in the visual frame, with eyes getting drawn downwards by the steps, platforms and their shrines. The vertical thrust of the temple Shikara is countered by the horizontal expanse of the kunds or the pond's axis. The perspective arrangement of the columns, roof lines and elements implies visual depth. The three axes defined by the rising Shikara, the depth of the Sabha Mandap and the wide temple pond strikes a dynamic balance, thereby creating a forceful equilibrium. Seriously studying the brilliant architecture is this artist and architect, visualizing the plundered Shikara and hoping to probably induce caretakers of such heritage places to reconstruct the priceless structure and also to use the knowledge acquired from the architectural design of this heritage structure in contemporary architecture. The Modhera Sun Temple is yet another outstanding example of the great Indian art and architecture, a priceless legacy. Adalaj is a tiny sleepy old village 18 kilometers north of Ahmedabad, the business capital of the state of Gujarat in the western tip of India. Even though it is tiny and rather sleepy, Adalaj is nevertheless very famous and owes its fame to this marvelous example of Indo-Islamic architecture. Built in the year 1499 and known as the Adalaj Vav in the native language, meaning the Adalaj stepwell. The construction of the stepwell was initiated by King Veer Singh Waghela of Dandai Desh, but unfortunately he was unable to complete it as he was killed in a battle for supremacy in an invasion by Mahmud Begara, the Sultan of a neighboring kingdom. Although there is a controversy as to who actually completed the work, the final credit is bestowed upon the Queen Rudabai, the widow of King Veer Singh Waghela. According to folklore, Sultan Begara was so enamored by the beauty of Queen Rudabai that he sent her a proposal for marriage, which the queen was loath to even consider. However, in a tactical move, she is believed to have agreed to the proposal on the condition that she may be allowed to complete the construction of the stepwell before entering into a marriage. The Sultan agreed without thinking over it too much. The queen, however, dragged the work for nearly 20 years before completing it. After a prolonged wait, when the Sultan demanded the queen to marry him, she decided to end her life as a mark of love and devotion to her husband, as well as to retain her honor. She circumambulated the stepwell, offered prayers to the gods, and jumped herself to death in the well. Though the Sultan was saddened and remorse, he allowed the stepwell to remain intact as a mark of respect to the woman he had desired to marry. The Adalaj stepwell is a 5 stories deep sandstone edifice built in Indo-Islamic architectural style. At the top, it is octagonal in shape and is built on a large number of intricately carved pillars. Each floor has sufficient space for people to gather. Built along a north-south axis, the entrance is from the south, and 3 staircases each from the south, west, and east directions leads to the landing on the north side of the well. The structure is typical traditional Indian style with beams and lintels. From the first story level, 3 staircases lead to the bottom water level of the well, which is a unique feature. At the bottom of the well is a square step floor in the shape of a funnel reaching into the lowest plane, which is chiseled into a circular well. The well has been dug deep into the ground to access water at that level, to ensure availability of water at all times. In order to restrain the compressive force of the Earth's mass and prevent it from caving in while going deeper and deeper, the path of the structure from the surface level to the bottom water level is strengthened and safeguarded by regular cross beams at all levels to retain the earth. Air and light vents are provided through large openings on every floor's landing. The top part of the well is a vertical space opening into the sky. The motifs of flowers and graphics typical to Islamic architecture blends very well with the symbols of Hindu and Jainism gods carved at various levels. Among the many carvings, there is one carved out of a single block of stone depicting the Kalpavriksha, the tree of life, and Ami Kumbhor, the pot of water of life. A fresco of the 9 planets or Navagraha can also be seen here. All these adds a very religious ambience to the well, which makes people to visit and worship at the well during marriages and other ritual and ceremonies. Because of its deep access into the earth, the overall edifice provides a very cool atmosphere compared to the arid heat outside. And due to this reason, people coming to fetch water spend considerable time inside the stepwell. This 15th century monument is indeed a marvel of the fusion of Indian and Islamic architecture, which will continue to fascinate and spellbind future generations.